Hello, 8th graders, it's Mrs. Thompson. We're still in section 5.6. We're actually going to do one last example, an application example, a business application. So if you've got some colored pencils or different colored pens, I think you're going to need probably 3 different colors. So if you like doing the color coding with me, do that. Grab 3 colored pencils or pens. And we're going to get this example started, okay? It's going to stretch out over a couple of pages. That's okay, just hang with me, okay? Let me read the scenario to you. A surf shop makes the profits given in the table. Here's the table right here. These are the profits, okay? The shop owner sells at least, I want you to circle or box in those words, at least 10 surfboards and at least, do it again, 20 wakeboards per month. He wants to earn at least $2,000 per month. Show and describe all possible combinations of surfboards and wakeboards that the store owner needs to sell to meet his goals, and then list 2 possible combinations. So we're going to start off in step 1, just writing a system of inequalities, and I'm going to make it the same for all of us. X is going to be the number of surfboards, and Y is going to be the number of wakeboards. Okay, we're all doing the same thing. That's why I typed it in there like that. All right, I'm just reiterating it in case you're not reading with me. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to write a system of inequalities. Now, what a mistake that some of you are going to make is you're going to think, hey, there's only 2 inequalities here. And you would be wrong. There are 3 inequalities here. Did you box in 3 different sets of words in the original problem? Do you remember? At least, at least, at least. Guess what, guys? That's 3 inequalities. And we have a system that has 3 inequalities in it, not just 2. You're used to just doing 2. This one has 3, so I want to keep you on your toes. Let's start with the number of surfboards, okay? Look at the second sentence right here. The shop owner sells at least 10 surfboards. At least is a minimum, okay? At least is not the maximum they sell every month. That's the minimum every month. So remember, X is the number of surfboards, so our first inequality is going to be X is greater than or equal to 10. That's at least 10 surfboards right there. Okay, let's move to the wakeboards. Same sentence. They also sell at least 20 wakeboards. Okay, looks good. And then our third inequality has to do with money. He wants to make at least $2,000 per month. So that's going to be greater than or equal to 2,000. And we need the table to kind of fill in that profit margin for us, okay? Profits per board sold. We're going to get $150 for every surfboard, and we're going to get $100 profit for every wakeboard. So that is your system of inequalities. You're going to have 3 in this particular group, not just 2 like we've been working with the entire chapter, but 3 this time, okay? Now let's flip to our next page. Okay, we have to graph the system, so let me remind myself of what that was. So I think it was 150x plus 100y is greater than or equal to $2,000, I think is what that was. Yep. Okay, so you may want to color code this, you know, and I would, for that standard equation, that standard form, I would go ahead and solve for the x and y intercepts. So I'm going to do the cover-up method, and I'm going to have 150x is equal to 2,000. And in your calculator, do 2,000 divided by 150. And that's going to give me about 13.3 repeating. And then do the same thing, cover up the x and solve for y. Okay, that looks great. Divide by 100. And it looks like y is 20. Okay, so perfect. That works out really good. We need that information, so that's going to really help us when we set this up. Now, the graph should be first quadrant only. Does anybody have any ideas why that is? Now, I'm hoping that you're saying to yourself, well, you can't sell negative numbers of surfboards and wakeboards, and you would be correct. So that's what we're after. We're going to do first quadrant. So I'm going to come over here and get this going. All right. Now, because of the nature of our numbers, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go by fives, okay, for both axes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, I'll stop right there. And the y-axis, remember, that's our wakeboards. And I'll just put wake over here. Hopefully you'll remember that's what that means. And I'll make this number of surfboards, and we'll go again by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. There we go. And let's start with the first inequality. I'm going to switch to red. I'm going to do this first inequality in red. Okay, that's going to be the first of my three colors. Now, x is greater than or equal to 10. That's a special line. Do you remember when there is no y term, what kind of line never crosses the y-axis? Now, I am hoping and praying you're saying a vertical line. This is going to end up being a vertical line through positive 10 on the x. So find positive 10 on the x and draw a solid vertical line, okay? Now we have to do a little shading. All of the numbers that are bigger than 10 are to the right. So let's do some shading with your whatever color you're using, okay? So we want to shade it real good so you see it very, very well. Okay, we're getting ready to switch colors, so after you're done shading, let's switch colors. I'm going to go to blue this time, and we're going to do y is greater than or equal to 20, okay? Now, there's no x term, so that means this one is special. This is a horizontal line, so that means it's never going to cross the x-axis. It's going to stay parallel to the x-axis, so we're going to find positive 20 on the y and draw a solid horizontal line. There it goes. I try to make it a little darker, a little heavier. And then I'm going to shade all the points that are greater than 20. Well, that's all the numbers above 20. So I'm going to shade here. Already we see a crosshatch already looking good. Okay, get that nice and where you can see it real good. All right, now I'm going to switch colors again. I'll go to that neon green. That's pretty cool. And now I'm going to take my standard form and I'm going to graph these two x-intercepts and y-intercepts. I'm going to graph those with a solid line and then do shading there. So x is 13.3. Guess what, guys? I'm going to have to estimate where that is, okay? So there it is, roughly 13.3 or so. And then y is 20, okay? And then I need to draw a solid line between them. Got it? Okay. And now I got to figure out my shading. Now, again, it's greater than or equal to, so what I need to look for is probably plug in 0, 0. So 150 times 0 plus 100 times 0. Is that bigger than 2,000? That would be a no. 0 is not even near 2,000. So don't shade the left side of the green line, shade the right side, okay? So as you can see, do you see where we have three colors busting up through here, okay? Now I'm going to change the highlighter because I want you to see the boundaries, okay? The boundaries are right here in this particular square, okay? That's where I see all three colors, the red, the blue, and the green. That's where I see it, okay? Now, we're ready to answer some questions about it. You did a beautiful graph. I'm sure it looks awesome. Now we have to describe all the possible combinations. okay? And the way that you can say that is you could say wherever all three lines intersect, that those points are the numbers of surfboards and wakeboards that will help the surf shop make more than 2,000, okay? There's no easy way to describe that, in all honesty. I wish there was, there's not. Just do the best you can with it. If you want to say, very simply, it's where I have highlighted over the top of all three crosshatches. That would be fine too. I'm not really that concerned about that. I'm not even sure how it's going to show up on your test when we do test on this particular section. So we'll just have to wait and see. So that'll be fine. List two possible combinations. You just need to pick points that are in this highlighted area. So I'm going to mark some of them right now. So I'm going to switch back to black. And let me go here, here, here. You know, I'm just trying to pick out some of the ones that you would, no, there's 4 right there that I picked out. We just needed 2. So let's take a look, see if we can name that. So it looks like the name of this first point right here is 1525. What that means is if I sell 15 surfboards and 25 wakeboards, I'm going to make more than $2,000 in that month. Okay, because he wants that kind of profit margin. Here's this point right here. That ends up being 2530. If I sell 25 surfboards and 30 wakeboards, I will go over my projected budget that I've set for myself, which is $2,000. So you just have to pick 2 numbers out of that triple crosshatch area. That's all you need to do. The description, you could say something like see highlighted area. That would be a great way to write that. I was trying to think of an easy way for you to write that, because there's no easy way to write that description. Okay, so that's it. You graph the system. We actually encountered a system that had 3 inequalities in it instead of just 2, and then we listed possible combinations. So bring your questions to class. Thank you for studying with me.